Hi everyone, this is Ramalinga Prasad Kuppa. Welcome to my channel Pharma World. Today's topic is qualification and requalification of personnel involved in laboratory activities as per section 3.12 of ICH Q7 and PAPH OMCL 2095 R2. Let us see the requirement. Section 3.12 of ICH Q7 prescribes training should be regularly conducted by qualified individuals and should cover at a minimum the particular operations that the employee performs and GMP as it relates to the employee's functions. Records of training should be maintained. Training should be periodically assessed. Laboratory plays a significant role in pharmaceutical manufacturing. It is important that the personnel must be trained adequately to establish their skills on all laboratory operations. In addition to the capability of reading and interpreting correctly the content of pharmacopoeia, they should be qualified for all activities of quality control testing laboratory. So let us see the generic prescription of the training under section 3.12 in ICH-Q7 guideline. So the training should be a regular affair and not a once-off procedure. In addition to compliance to quality management systems, the laboratory personnel should be trained on specific job for which they are hired. Please note, unless the car driver knows fully the operation of the accelerator and the brake, the end result would be fatal. Even if you are a good driver, there is a requirement to renew your license periodically. So the skills have to be assessed periodically. This section is generic in nature and covers all functions of manufacturing. Let us see the prescription under EDQM guide. In PAPH OMCL 2095 R2 guide, the training requirement is specific for laboratory personnel. Let us see. The ISO IEC 17025 of 2017 claims all personnel of the laboratory, either internal or external, that could influence the laboratories shall act impartially, be competent, and work in accordance with the laboratory's management system. So, ISO IEC 17025 section is clear that all personnel, either internal or external, shall be competent for carrying out the job effectively. You have to understand that external means the analysts at contract testing laboratory. It is the responsibility of the original manufacturer to comply to this requirement. Furthermore, it says the laboratory shall document the competence requirements for each function influencing the results of the laboratory activities, including requirements for education, qualification, training, technical knowledge, skills, and experience. So, accordingly, it is mandatory to document the competence requirements on education, qualification, training, technical knowledge, skills, and experience. Let us see more. Let us see how the methodology works. The entire team could be divided into 4 groups. They are the group 1, analyst, laboratory technician, responsible for performance of the tests. Group 2 is the supervisor of analysts, responsible for review and or approval of results. calculation, recalculation, approval of reports, certificates, monitoring the validity of the results, etc. Group 3 is head of the laboratory, other personnel whose activities can influence the validity of the results. Group 4 is the supporting personnel, personnel involved in reception of samples, reference materials and reagents, personnel in washrooms, personnel involved in cleaning activities, etc. The recommended methodology is to divide the entire laboratory group into 4 different levels. Basic first level includes analysts, senior analysts responsible directly for carrying out the testing are included in Group 1. Group 2 has supervisory staff responsible for reviewing the results obtained by the analysts. They will have enriched responsibilities. Group 3 has the senior level like QC manager or assistant QC manager. These are responsible for overall compliance and checking the validity status of the testing activities. IT head who will be responsible for maintaining the online servers and electronic data transfer and storage are also part of this group. Group 4 has supporting personnel including reception of samples, management of reagents and standards, personnel involved in cleaning activities including glassware and restrooms. Animal keepers are also included in this list if there is handling of animals during the testing. Let us see how the qualifications and requalifications will be done. When a new employee enters the organization, a personal training plan has to be made based on the employee's skills, knowledge and experience. How do we know this? This will be known when the employee is being hired because it is a general practice to evaluate the skills face to face during the interview process. The training document should have relation to the function, acceptance criteria, responsible person for training and evaluation. The training document should be clear on the training plan in relation to the function, acceptance criteria to qualify, either a written test or oral evaluation or both. The document should also include the name of the qualified person responsible to train the new employee. The training could be divided into 2 parts. One is general rules, including the compliance to QMS and safety related rules, and the second one, the function related skill improvements. The first part is that there should be complete understanding of requirements of compliance to quality management systems and required safety precautions of laboratory. The safety precautions include handling of glass apparatus carefully, complete safety data, knowledge of the chemicals being used, wearing personal protective equipment appropriately, safe storage and handling of chemicals and reagents, etc. The second part covers the specific requirements for the activity. The specific requirements could be classified into 2 basic classes. They are wet analysis or instrumental analysis. These are the 2 classes which can be done. There can be different groups covering both the activities. The subgroups could include but not limited to sampling group, raw materials, intermediates testing group, stability group, validations group, calibrations group, etc. Let us see how the evaluation of training efficacy is done. Passing an exam, written or oral. The analyst assigned with a specific activity should read again, and understand the content and intent of the procedure. Suitable method could be evaluation through a written test. The questionnaire should be elaborate to capture the intent of the test requirement. This should include on the basic understanding of the principles of the test method. The evaluation could be through oral questioning also, but this also should be done in a similar way. Performing tests under supervision, that is a senior analyst, or performing a test or a recalibration of retained items. In this also, the trial sample could be coded so that the original identity of the sample is unknown or hidden to the analyst. The evaluation could be carried out under the surveillance of another senior person who has adequate knowledge and working experience on that particular test method. Another method of evaluation is a senior analyst could oversee the activities for compliance, the evaluation of the results, recalculation and comparison with predefined acceptance criteria under the supervision of the supervisory staff. Performing practical specific activity under the supervision of supervisory staff is also possible. After successful completion of the evaluation, the person may be added to the list of competencies. So, after successful evaluation, the person may be included in the list of competent persons for that activity. For personnel who change or carry out additional duties, based on the past experience and competencies, a training plan may be made. The evaluation may be limited to that particular functional skills. For any personnel, if there is a change for carrying out additional duties, those specific training requirements list may be supplemented to the main competency requirement list. Requalification of a qualified person is required when there is no monitoring of results of qualification. This is an important point. If the performance is not monitored by reviewing the results with a well-defined system, a requalification should be done. In the next slide, we will know how monitoring of results is done. For loss of qualification, a requalification has to be performed. Extent of requalification may be decided by a risk assessment report. The risk assessment may include period of time and unsuccessful performance of testing. A risk assessment should decide the extent of requalification for loss of qualification. Loss of qualification means unable to perform the tests efficiently. It could be based on the period of time and unsuccessful performance testing. Let us see how the monitoring of qualification is done. Compliance to QMS should be monitored. A system with a scheme for compliance and for monitoring the non-conforming work works efficiently. Monitoring non-conformance work means it is to monitor how many times the test was done wrongly against the number of tests carried out during a specific period, say 1 year. It is like a performance indicator. When the performance indicator is closer to 1, the performance is good. In such cases, the qualification could be considered as sustained. If the performance indicator is less than half, the requalification frequency should be more. This has to be justified. For group 1 and 2, requalification is required when there is a change in test method. Limited requalification may be acceptable if the basic working principle is same as the original and there were no significant changes made in the modified procedure. Also, requalification is required as a defined frequency to check that the proficiency is continued and the analyst is capable of carrying out the analysis as required. Requalification frequency may depend on the criticality of the test method. The non-conforming work is a valuable tool for proving the qualification status of the personnel in the system. This also is a very valuable tool for addressing the failure management system. Requalification may be carried out as prescribed under original qualification program. One good way to keep the qualification of staff is to merge the failure management system with the frequency of performing a test. This can be done by comparing the performance of a specific test frequency, and there is no issue on the output and there is no non-conformity. The qualification can be considered as sustained. If a staff member performs a test frequency, but this has to be documented, and there is no issue from the failure management system, the qualification can be considered as sustained. In this case, a minimal frequency for performing the test has to be defined. For example, a minimum of X analysis per year that have to be performed by an analyst in order to keep his or her qualification active. All the monitoring should be documented through a detailed procedure. I hope that the intent of section 3.12 of ISH Q7 and PAPH OMCL 2095 R2 is understood well. For more details, you may go through both the guidelines for complete understanding of the intent of qualification for laboratory activities. Thanks for watching. For more videos, please do subscribe, like and share. Thank you.